So, time for another Sega Saturn game, and it's going to be Andretti Racing from EA Sports. Comes in a big-ish, bigger than usual box, plastic one as you can see, a bit thicker. On the back, two types of racing: Indian stock, 16 tracks, career mode, split screen, 4-player split screen. That's interesting. Oh, hey, 4-player link play, and then it's oh yeah, where you link two consoles and then you'd have 2 players on each console. Released in 1994, so guessing one of the early Saturn games. I assume it would have been available on other systems like PlayStation and the PC. Discs a bit beat up, so let's put this in. Hopefully I'll get sound first time. When I hit record, I'm having some issues with recording, but as long as I've got a cup of tea I'll be alright. So yeah, interesting one that it's got Indian stock cars. Looks like you can sort of flip your car and stuff like that. So I'm going to have to stop and record again because the sound's not come through. Seems to not do it the first time, and then the sound usually works the second time I hit record. Yeah, that's strange. I need to look into that. Press start button. A bit glitzy and all that, as you expect from an EA game. We'll go exhibition race. Quite a few modes to this, as you expect from an EA Sports title. Funky music. Select track. I'm expecting. I was expecting most of them to be ovals, to be honest. Yeah, a bit of a pain in the arse, all of these select screens. You'd be coming up to 2 minutes by the time you actually get from putting the game in to actually racing. So you got your little map of the circuit. Not really any use to anyone, but yeah, I suppose it's something to look at. Loading. It'd be unfair to judge loading times on what's happening on screen at the moment, really, because the disc isn't in the best condition. So I don't know if you've got a mint copy of the game. That might load a bit faster.
Watch for that green flag, and here we go.
The graphics are... That's a break. Yeah, graphics are a bit Virtua Racer-ish. Not sure what's going on with them. Pretty basic handling. Graphics, well, the draw distance is I've seen worse, let's put it that way. It's nowhere near as bad as Daytona USA and Sega Rally, but certainly not a good draw distance. It's still quite a bit of pop-up. I don't know, it's the handling's a bit weird. feels more like an early scrolling 2D racer than a 3D game, which is a bit odd. Interesting tracks though. Looks like they've sort of gone to an effort to give some interesting scenery, even if it does pop up at the last second. Like that. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to be, but it looks pretty cool. That bridge. There's not a massive sensation of speed. Just seems like engine tone changes, but you never really seem to change the actual speed that the game's going at by accelerating. It's not a difficult game. I'd say that I'm probably in last place. Position 14 and 13. So yeah, it seems pretty easy. The grass does actually change the handling of the car. You do actually skid when you go on the grass, so that's interesting. There's a bit of smoke there as well, which would have been a pretty cool effect back in the day. I remember the original Gran Turismo, they originally had tyre smoke in that, but they had to remove it because it slowed the game down that much. If you watch early demo videos of Gran Turismo, and it's got the tyre smoke in, it really crawls to a halt. It's like going around the corners in slow motion. So you can damage your car as well. Oh, can you? I couldn't work that one out. I think you can damage your car, because I think what happened then was the wheel came off, but all you have to do is press a button to get back into the race. Yeah, certainly it's one of them games that fits in between arcade racing and simulation, I'd say. Just clip the grass there. Yeah, that's interesting. It's not like the racing games nowadays. You know, if you've got one wheel on the grass, then you'll just lose traction on one wheel. But it looks like on this, if you get one wheel on the grass, it just applies like the same physics to every wheel. Music's not bad, not offensive anyway. Let's try and pit. Tyres warm. Oh, that's probably why I'm skidding all over the place then. Yeah, I don't know. What do I do here? Start now. I'm just guessing it's going to do something. There you got a little pit team. It's interesting that they actually take the tyres off and whatnot. Give them some fuel. Oops, I keep pressing the brake button by accident. So it's another one of these Saturn games where the controls are a bit counterintuitive, so it's pretty cool in cockpit view. It's interesting to go back to some of these games. I mean, this game here has got dreadful graphics by today's standards, but still pretty playable because you can see where you're going clearly. The colours are very bright and whatnot, and you've got these direction chevron barriers to show you when there's a corner. So I know when I play the last one I played was Gran Turismo 2 on the PlayStation, and you just can't see where you're going. It's just all just a muddy, blurry mess, and I just kept taking, you know, heading into barriers at a 90-degree angle. It was horrible. So yeah, this one definitely ages a bit better than that sort of thing. I bet you can pick this up really cheap as well. How do you select? I'm just wondering how you select car types. I'm gonna get on the stock cars. Interesting. You get really frustrated menus like this when you're hopping through the options. That's your change. So select circuit. I wouldn't really call that circuit. I should just put select car there. And these are different. These different tracks. No, I think the same ones. Go for this one. Looks like it's got some interesting corners on it. Oh shit. Press the wrong button. Damn you bastard fucking Saturn controls. Right. Let's reset it all. That one. So start. See what these cars are like. Oops, qualify. No, it makes no difference. Interesting that it's called Andretti Racing. Obviously it'd be after Mario Andretti, who obviously put his name to it, but there isn't actually any mention of him on the back or anything like that. Come on. Yeah, that's one thing I've changed about this game. It's got download times. Terrible. Like I say, it could just be the disc. McDonald's car. This again with the controls. Music's interesting. It's a bit Ridge Racer-ish. The circuit looks like it could have been lifted straight out of the Ridge Racer as well. So these cars don't corner as well. It's got that annoying thing that really annoys me in Daytona as well, where the suspension looks like it's got no damping, so like the back of the car's just skipping up and down constantly. I find that pretty annoying. The suspension's well set up, we shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, these stock cars definitely aren't as much, dare I say it, fun as its indie counterparts. I don't know whether it's just me, but the draw distance and the frame rate seems to have dropped quite a bit on this this level. I don't know whether it's to do with the scenery or whatever. Maybe it's just because the car's slower. I feel a bit slow in these cars, not fun. Actually, it was pretty cool at the time. I enjoyed playing this, even if it probably would have been a mediocre sort of game compared to the likes of Sega Rally. So, if you're a fan of racing games on the Saturn, then check this one out. If you're a fan of bulking up your collection with cheap sports titles, then I imagine this is cheap. So also, if that's what you're into, then check this one out. Not really much else to say on it, so that's Andretti Racing for the Sega Saturn.